Keep It Spiritual with myself, Chris Meredith. Now remember to give us a massive thumbs up and hit that subscribe button as well. Now in this episode, I bring you the fabulous Chris Fitchew. Now you might know Chris as an actor, as a comedian, as a performer. You know, he's done many different things, but one thing I'm so glad that Chris has set up is the beautiful event which is called Wonderment. Now Wonderment is a special place where many spiritual minds come together so me and you can learn so many different spiritual practices and to raise our collective vibration. But this year as well, what Chris is doing is a brand new event which is called Soul Pride. Yes, you heard that right, Pride for the Soul, which I absolutely love. And of course, if you are a member of the LGBTQIA community, this is right up your street, or you could be an ally as well. There's many different things that you will learn from this event. Just remember, it does run from the 5th of July till the 12th. It's going to be online this year, but it's going to be absolutely fabulous. So here is the beautiful Chris Fitchew talking all about his own spiritual journey, talking about the fabulous event, the Wonderment, and of course the event that is coming up very soon, the beautiful Soul Pride. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Keep It Spiritual. First of all, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you, Chris. Chris with a K. I'm really good. I'm so pleased to be here. I've been watching all your videos and loving them, and so I'm quite honoured to be on it.
Thank you very much. And my apologies as well. It's taken me this long to get you on. It's just been a busy old time. I've had a bit of a break as well. So, you know, the timing is right now. Of course, Chris, so yourself, Chris, what's been your spiritual journey so far, my friend?
So, yeah, I would say I can map it back, actually. We were just talking earlier about, you know, you sort of go through your 20s and you're just ploughing through careers and trying to get to a place where you just want to feel content. You think it's to do with being content with your career and your work. As I was saying, I was previously in comedy and hosting and presenting and events, and yeah, just never feeling satisfied. And then I would say, you know, early 30s, when you sort of start to hit that, you know, just before 33 actually, and I was born on Christmas Day, so you know what I mean.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I was like, it was early 30s and everything was going wrong and I was doing the wrong thing. I was in London, doing a bit too many parties and that old chestnut, and I just sort of needed to sort of gather myself. And so I can remember the first time a lady called Antonia Harmon, who still works as a great healer, she came to see one of my comedy shows, and afterwards she was like, oh, it was amazing, but you need grounding. And I was like, all right, well, and she sort of put a hand on me and grounded me with energy, and I felt it. I was like, oh, right, okay. And that started my journey learning a bit of Reiki and a bit of vortex energy healing. And then I started getting interested in all sorts of things. Like I was quite interested in John of God. And so I went out to Brazil, to his casa, and spent a month there with him and just watched him heal people and watched, you know, got healed myself for all sorts of, you know, elements that were just built up over the time of not taking care of myself. And I've just been so blessed to meet the most incredible people, whether it's, you know, Cherub and Tim, sound healers, or Jed Ferguson, energy healer, or Elizabeth Martin, who works a lot with Wicca. And through that, you make really good friends with great people that have helped you. And then you want to pass on the baton and pass on the message of these people. Hence why I came to where I am today, which is putting on spiritual and well-being events, you know, in order to have people see them and put on platforms for these great people so everyone can benefit from how I did. That was the short answer.
It's a beautiful place to be. It is, and it's great. You know, you've got that experience, and you know, you felt it within yourself, and now you're giving back to many other people by, you know, the Wonderment. So, firstly, there might be some people that are watching and listening that don't even know what the Wonderment is. So, Chris, what is the Wonderment?
Well, it's one of those things where it was one of those words I always used to use. I would always use it, drop it in. It was like my word, Wonderment. It's all about the Wonderment, and let's find the Wonderment. Let's be the Wonderment. And I had an events company before, and which I still do. But the events company, we used to put on big elaborate events at members clubs like Home House, the Arboretum, Soho House. We flew around the world doing events for the Saudi royal family and loads of lovely places in China and Bali. And the events company was called Cloud 8 Productions, Cloud 8 Events, because, I was kind of like, I love the number 8. 8 is infinity, 8 is lucky. But of course, Cloud 8 Events just sounds like a poor man's Cloud 9 events. And so it was a stickler for a name. And then when I started putting on wellbeing events, it just came to me. I was like, I want to call it Wonderment, because I'm very interested in the side of the well-being that helps people see the wonderment of life, of the universe, of themselves. From the comedy background, the events background, I've always wanted to include a lot of lightness to our events, a lot of joy, a lot of, sort of gold spark, in the sense, don't get me wrong, I've been to many spiritual and well-being and healing events where it's quite, you do the work and you're there and you're expected to, strip back, and it's quite serious. And I love it because I can, chameleonize into that. But I know a lot of people out there really wouldn't. And so it's quite blocky, that world I've found. At a Wonderment event, for example, the retreat, which we did last September in Wasing Woodland in Berkshire, a 3-day event, a really sort of tight program of all kinds of events, from very early yoga and qigong through to nature and forest bathing walks, sweat lodges, meditation, sacred geometry, a lot of deep spiritual work, but then peppered with mermaid swimming lessons in the lake. So it was kind of a bit tongue-in-cheek. We had a comedy show after dinner, like with, headline comedians, just to make it kind of like fun. And I really do believe that, one's spiritual journey should be fun, because there's a lot of unfun parts to it. It's quite isolating. It can be daunting. You can come up with, psychological, hurdles when you try and fathom it out. So the more, we can get close to love and joy via the fun route, that's kind of what we're passionate about at Wonderment.
You've got the serious side, but you've got the light side, so you've got the perfect balance, which is great. And I think, spiritual journeys, like you just said, Chris, there, you need that fun element, you need that light there, because, there is some dark, places people have got to go. So you definitely need that balance. So yeah, I love it. And I love that you brought the Wonderment to the world. So big news now, coming on the 5th to the 12th of July this year, 2020, you're hosting the fabulous online retreat festival called Soul Pride, which I absolutely love. So what can everybody expect from that, Chris?
Yeah, well, again, so at the beginning of lockdown, or lovedown, as I'm trying to still coin it, but it's not took off. Wonderment, obviously, all of our live retreats and live events. We've been doing things in London every week at various members clubs and private events and public events. Obviously, we couldn't do it anymore, so we immediately put everything online. My business partner Jess Bowman and I. She's the kind of mechanics behind it all. She's the business brains and the back office and the structure and the logistics. And then, it was actually last year when I was in the woods at Wonderment, I was like, you know what? Our Wonderment is available and open to everybody. And we have, like I said, so many different kinds of people, including many people from the LGBTQIA plus community. And I saw the benefit for these guys from this community, guys and gals. And I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to do something just for them, just for us? In the sense of, I do believe the community has been knocked. It has been for millennia, but obviously we've been through a real transition of growth, and we've almost taken 3 or 4 steps forward and then 2 or 3 back. Obviously went through the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. We've gone through homophobia. We've gone through bigotry. But also I feel within the community there's a lot of disparagement, a lot of arguments, and a lot of almost disdain for each other. And it's almost like on the global picture, there's a lot going on. And, there's so many views and versions of what's going on. But what I feel is that, we're almost, we're internally in discord because of we're all, individually in discord. And we reach out to our immediate tribe. And, it's like families, isn't it? You argue with your families. But with the sort of LGBTQIA tribe, the arguments, mask gays versus femme gays, and, people questioning various different people's, outward confident denomination of who they are. And I just feel that needs to be addressed. And I think that if we're all together, we can then take this one huge tribe, because we are all one, we're all very, very similar when you break it down. And when we're stronger, we can then, join other tribes, as in, other people around the world. And then eventually we're all, I feel, edging towards, one huge tribe of the human race. And I feel the pockets that's going on around the world are just this internal discord within our own tribes. And so we all know, the first thing we need to do to get on with our families, make sure that we're all right individually, that we've got our oxygen mask on first before we can help each other. And so we wanted to put on this program, Soul Pride, in order to enable everybody to come in and to be, around some great healing, some great, beautiful LGBTQIA plus teachers and healers and people that have done amazing things in the wider scale, but putting on a nice platform online, just how we've been doing with Wonderment. And we're going to do a whole week from Sunday the 5th, this Sunday, where Sunday 11 a.m. we start our opening ceremony, which is on a full moon. So we'll get rid of all those things that will no longer serve us and take us through the week and beyond, and just set our intentions. And then every day we have 2 or 3 or even 4 events, very much spaced out throughout the week. So it's not like a bombarding thing. We've got yoga, we've got sattva yoga, we have queer yoga, we have astrology from the amazing Christine Day, and also Colin Bedell from Queer Cosmos. We have a forum on the Friday where we can all get together and discuss. And the discussion is shining a light on the community, shining a light, discovering what needs to be done, but also shining a light and celebrating it and us. And then we have some creative workshops such as poetry. Saturday night we have our cabaret again, going back to we always need a bit of joy. So real multi-layered. We have a great guy, Jambo Truong, who's a great yogi, breath worker and meditator on the final Sunday, followed by Junior Valentine, who is doing our gong bath. So a really lovely program. And it's designed, as I said, to help the individual, to help the tribe, to help the wider world.
Which it will. So, Chris, how can people get involved with it?
The main thing is to add us on the socials, to keep an eye on everything. So we can share that, but it's at soulpride __ on Instagram. Our website, soulpride.org, has got all the events. So you can peruse through and click on. They're all free. We're asking for donations to our 2 charities, which is the Albert Kennedy Trust, which is an amazing charity which helps homeless people that have been made homeless for being who they are. And through lockdown and through this pandemic, there's been an increase in homelessness with the LGBTQ young, purely because where normally they might couch surf or stay, with friends and stuff. So they're in need. So we're asking for donations for that. And Kaleidoscope International Trust, which is helping so many people on a humanitarian front. So yeah, it's you dip in and out as you please. You might want to do one session, or you might want to do them all, and we'll meet people on there, like-minded people. It might be that you might have a friend who's struggling and just bring them on to something like, for example, Thursday night we're doing all about mind care with Matthew Todd, the author of Straight Jacket, great sort of advocate of mental health, and the amazing DK Green, great shamanistic psychotherapist. So it might be that they need some mind care, it might be some soul care or some physical, but it's all there and you can just dip in and out as you please.
I love it. It's going to be such a great event. I mean, I'm so glad that you're bringing it. I'm going to be watching as well. I'm sure many people out there will, but it's just great to have something positive, for us in this time, just to look forward to as well. I think that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know about you, I feel like we're obviously emerging out. There's all, we've got the, things happening that we're all coming out. It's our second coming out. And
come out, don't you?
I know. And I just worry that, people aren't going to take with them the lessons that they've learned through lockdown, even if those lessons were difficult or if they were, enlightening or self-discovering. So it's a really nice time, I think, to be doing it almost like the week that lockdown's dissipating, just to do that final cocooning so everyone can just like get that final bit of support to be able to sort of fly their wings into the next phase. God knows what that phase is.
I know, but it's just checking in with yourself. And that's one thing, I'm a bit kind of, not worried, but I'm just hoping that people are not just going to go back to how we was before this. And, then all this has been in vain. I really, really hope, people aren't going to run to the pubs and, it's not going to be done for no reason whatsoever. People hopefully going to learn and take with them, what we've kind of gone through from this, and we come out of it better and more positive as a race, really.
Yeah, because we really needed this pause, I feel. And just before, it was like, well, poor Greta Thunberg, she was doing her best, but it wasn't really scratching the surface. Even though that obviously did help massively. But I think everybody to realize that we're all connected, because we've all shared something together. Obviously, different scales. Some people have been affected way more than others, but I think everybody's felt it, and even just that collectiveness. And that's why I think these sort of smaller groups working their shizzle out, and I just do believe if we're strong as well, it's like there's a lot of, especially, with the trans community, the things they're going through is awful, but we need to recognize that we're a part of that, and we need to protect them as they did us. It was the trans, advocates who got us through Stonewall in the first place. So it's their turn and their time to be able to feel supported by us. And because at the end of the day, like I said, I feel the common thing that binds us, whether you're, a lesbian, cis lady, or whoever or whatever you are, we're all kind of like, we've been given, I feel, a superpower in the sense that we're all sort of dallying either side of the masculine and the feminine energy. And which, surely if you can recognize within yourself a masculine and a feminine energy, which is something that really does unify us all, you're kind of closer to divine in a way, because you're kind of really, that sort of Kundalini core essence of what it is to be a being. And so the more we recognize that in ourselves, we can have more empathy for each other, get stronger, build ourselves, empower ourselves. So, we won't be taking nonsense from people that, looking from the outside, giving us nothing but grief.
And don't really know the story or anything, do they? I think,
Well, yeah, it's
so important.
It's like the bullied child at school, is the weak one that got bullied. So let's strengthen ourselves. So, we're not that person. We're not that group. We're not that tribe. We're not that community. And then we'll be able to be strong enough and confident enough to help pass on that joy and on that spirit. Soul Pride this week, it's just one part of the, the mass, sort of movement that's going on. there's so much great work going on with the marchers, with so many online debates and forums. I'm very proud. We're very proud. That Soul Pride's a part of it. And it'll start quite small and cute, but hopefully it'll grow, because the other thing is, it's not exclusive to the community either. It's allies being our friends, our sort of straight comrades that get us, that want to celebrate us, that want to pass on that message. It's got to be open. It's not a clique. It's not, a cult. It's literally a place where we can just learn and grow. And even though Jess and I have come up with it, and we have like our pillars, we have all of our raison d'etre, gives ideas or thoughts or, feedback, so we can do it more collectively. Otherwise I just think it'll just it just won't be the thing that we're aiming for, which is a group effort.
What is it that you love, Chris, about Wonderment and being able to do events, like Soul Pride?
Yeah, I think, it boils down to a few years ago, I had a bit of an identity crisis. I was like, what am I doing? I'm a comedian one day, I'm doing an event the next, I'm doing spiritual events, wellbeing events, I'm doing all this. What am I doing? And then actually it just dawned on me. I was like, it is all linked, and the link goes back to, like, even when I was a child, I used to, be so intent on making everyone, have a laugh and making everyone entertained with like little shows or cooking things for people or whatever. Because I genuinely, think that my life mission is to bring joy. And it still makes me cringe saying it, but ultimately, if that's my calling or my passion, to raise the joy factor and bring joy, make people feel good about themselves through healing or laughter and comedy or a really cool event, then I'm kind of okay with that, So it's seeing the transformation in someone, whether it's an audience laughing or, because I'm not, it's a lot of people mistake someone who's on the stage and doing all this is quite ego-y and kind of, show offy and, but, I'm Capricorn rather than Leo. So it's purely titivating, elevating a group of people. And so whether it's that, the audience, or whether it's seeing a group of people come to one of our retreats and just say that they've had the most transformational weekend, or if it's a message from someone who's been on our online saying that the online program has saved them from going, over the edge during lockdown, you just know you're doing the right thing. And, like, it's just really nice, as I said, to have my business partner Jess by my side to help me do that and almost mop up the sort of creativity that I enjoy more, and she enjoys more, like I was saying, the business side. So it all works as professionally as we can, not just for ourselves, but all the practitioners, I say, that are with us. And so it's just that, it's the feedback and working with such great people. I mean, I'm so blessed to have the lineup we do on Soul Pride, and it wasn't difficult. And when you're on something because it just flows, and I just sort of got all the people I'd worked with before, and they'd recommended a few others, and you tune in and you realize that they're your vibe, and the response has been amazing. So yeah, it's just a joy to do.
Oh, Chris Fitchew, well, I've got to say thank you so much for being a guest. Good luck with Soul Pride. You're an absolute shining light. Thank you so much for being on Keep It Spiritual, lovely.
Thank you. And can I just say again, I reiterate, thank you for doing what you do. I mean, you've got a big old task as well, bringing all the info to everybody and passing on the batons and, shining a light on everything and getting the message out there. So well done, you too. And thank you. I love your YouTube clips and your work on the social media. So you keep your thing up too. And I hope to see you at one of our events soon, doing a live broadcast. Chris Meredith live from the woods.
I know we will when we see people, Chris. Thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you. See you later.
Thank you so much. Bye.
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 What a guy he is. That was the fabulous Chris Fitchew right there on Keep It Spiritual. Remember, if you do want to go to Soul Pride this year, all the information is down below. Or if you want to check out what Wonderment is all about, or you just want to know what Chris Fitchew is all about, everything is in the description below. And of course, he's a fabulous guy. So thank you so much for being a guest on Keep It Spiritual, Chris. And you guys as well, remember, give us a massive thumbs up and hit that subscribe button important as well, because you don't want to miss a video on Keep It Spiritual. No, you do not. Until next time, I've been Chris Meredith. Remember, keep it spiritual. See you later.